Okay, it is showing that I'm here live. Just a second, let me confirm. Network connection is good. Just a second. Yeah, let me just wait for Keshav, or I'll just start explaining. He'll watch later on. Let me just share my screen and explain. Abhini, uh, let me share my screen and explain you the problem statement. See, mm, this problem is relatively easy because what you have to do is just mm, explain this problem in much detail. See, is Keshav here? If yes, then okay, no issues. See, what you have to do is uh, element is 0 is equal to 0. Set entire row as 0. You just have to do that, entire row and entire column. So first of all, you need to have something in which you will store the row and column of that 0, right? So for that, we are going to make a vector of pair pair of int comma int, in which I'll just let's write it row or 0. Okay, in this for and I is equal to 0, I is smaller than. Okay, one more thing, int row is equal to matrix of matrix dot size, comma, column is equal to matrix of 0 dot size. Okay, this will give us the row and the column. Okay, now what, I iterate through all the elements of the array. I is smaller than a row, I plus plus, for int j is equal to 0, j is smaller than column j plus plus. Now, if the matrix of I and j, if this is equal to 0, if this is the case, what you have to do, you just have to push this to our push the coordinates 0 dot push I comma j. So with this, you will get the coordinates of 0. Suppose if the 0 is here, it will push back the coordinate 0, comma 0. If you found a 0 here, suppose, so you will get like you will push back the coordinates as 1, comma 2. Okay, if Keshav is here, can you please tell that he's understanding or not? Okay, great. After pushing back the 0, what I have to do, I have to just check if uh, like if I found that row and I have found that column, I'll iterate through from like the 0th element of that row and 0th element of that column, and I'll change each and every element to 0, right? So first of all, we need to have the size of this 0 size is equal to uh, 0 dot size. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to get the size of this array, like for how many elements we have to basically iterate. Okay, great. Huh. Mm, now what, for int mm, for int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than 0 size, I plus plus. I just have to like keep how many zeros I have. Okay, I have D Shaw over on 21st July for internship. From where shall I prepare the questions? I don't have DSA sheets. Uh, for D Shaw, there is a platform. You can go and check by what's his name. Let me think. I think it was he cracked D Shaw. Sorry, this. Oh, one second. Let me just see. What was the name of the channel? 1 second. Rather than asking from me, you should see his channel. Uh, 1 second. Yeah, you can go and check Arsh Goyal video. He have also uploaded one of the podcast, and also you can go and check what's her name? Yeah, Ashish Kumar. You can go and see Ashish Kumar's. In this question, uh, the space and time complexity is a problem. Okay, if you will see the time and space complexity of this problem, it is not much. It is simple. You can just see for this what the time and space complexity. It is simple. It is just m cross n. So for iterating through all the elements, okay, let me just complete this. Then I'll explain the time and space complexity. Okay, so I'll get the row and r is equal to uh, p of or the 0 of I 0 of I dot first and c is equal to 0 of I dot second. Okay, and r is equal to 0 dot 0 of I dot first, c is equal to 0 of I dot second. Now I have to check, like I have to start from the zeroth element of that row and zeroth element of that column and change all the elements to 0. Okay, so for int x is equal to 0, x is smaller than the row x plus plus. Now what is the name of the array? Matrix. So matrix of uh, what is the row? X is the row, and what is the column? Just column. Okay, great. Update it to 0 for this, and y is equal to 0. Y is smaller than column y plus plus. In this case, we are changing the column part, right? So it is going to be same, row is going to be same, and the column is going to be y is equal to 0. Yeah, so that's it. Now uh, return the value of matrix, I think. Okay, return the value of matrix. Let's see if this is working or not. Okay, okay. No name number. Push 0 dot push. अच्छा. Push back. अरे यार. Simple, simple. Okay. Return matrix. Oh, void. Yeah, yeah. I don't have to return anything. Yeah, this should work, I guess. It should not give any runtime errors. Acha, there is a runtime error. 1 second. Char 9. Uh, reference binding to misaligned address. Mm, okay, let me check. Mm, I calculated first of all what I did. Row column, row dot size, column dot size. Great. K is equal to mm, after that 0 dot size I is smaller than 0. zero size. Okay, I plus plus. Calculated R, calculated C, changed it to X, and column is equal to 0. And the next part calculated the matrix of row and y is equal to 0. Yeah, but it is giving me the runtime error pointer. Mm, j is equal to 0, j plus plus I is smaller than row I plus plus. For j is equal to 0, j is smaller than n, j is smaller than column, matrix dot size, matrix of 0 dot size. I'm sure that I am just over ignoring something. If matrix of runtime error, misaligned address for type which require 4 bytes alignment. X is smaller than n, I plus plus. I'm sure I'm overlooking something. Just a second. Um, X and column. अरे I'm sorry. Here I'm writing like I have to start from 0 and I have to go till R, right? I have to go till C, I have to go till R. Yeah, I think no, it will not give me any error, I guess. Compilation error. Okay, so column double C. Runtime error. Acha, this C, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it accepted. See, the error in my code was just a small thing. I just have to write C in place of column, so it is not any big issue. As you were talking, you were talking about Keshav Sharma. You were talking about time complexity, right? If you will see, the time complexity of this code is nothing but m cross n. So it is acceptable because see, the time complexity can be m cross n, and a simple improvement uses m plus n space. We are using m plus n space because you have like you the in the worst case scenario you can use m cross n case scenario, right? And one more thing you can do here is, if suppose, let me just submit this code and show you to you that it is working fine. Yeah, it accepted. See, 0 meter per second. If you will just analyze the time complexity, see, m cross n into m plus n in the worst case scenario. So I think this solution will be the one of the best solution that you can come up with, because in the worst case scenario also you have to calculate the positions of I and j. Okay, if you will not get the position of I and j, there is no way you can like update the values of those row and those columns. And after that, I'm here using int r, like I'm extracting the pair value. And suppose one thing you can do, if if matrix of x and c, if it is equal to 0, just continue. You can do this. You can do this here also. If matrix of r and y is equal to 0, just continue. You can do this here also. So it is simple. I'm live now. Yeah. So you can do this small improvement to make your code run much faster. But I think this is the best solution that you can come up with. I think this should work. Yeah, it is working fine. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, Keshav. If not, thank you so much for watching. Space complexity. Okay, okay. Let me share it with you. Space complexity, right? See, what is the space complexity? In the worst case scenario, one second. I think I'm visible now. Is my screen visible? Yeah. See, in the worst case scenario also, what are the possible coordinates that you are going to get? In the worst case scenario also, all the coordinates is going to be there. Like you will push back this coordinate, 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 and at last this coordinate. So at the worst case scenario also, the space complexity is going to be m cross n. It is not going to be m plus n. Yeah. And suppose one thing you can do, if you will check, like you can do something like, if this is equal to 0, one thing you can do, you can write a condition here. If the like 0, yeah, in place of this vector pair, you can use map, and you can check if 0 dot find 0 dot find I comma j, or I or just j. I'm just writing the pseudo code. I'm not writing the actual code. You can understand this. See, you can do something like, you can take two different arrays, okay, and in the two different map, or two different sets, and run a what can we do in O of 1? How can you do it in O of 1? Because see, you can do something like m cross n is compulsory. Okay, time complexity is going to be m cross n. For space complexity is to be equal to 0. You can do something like, if you found a 0, change all the rows and columns to 0. If you again found a 0, change the rows and columns to 0. You can do that. If you want me to try it, let's try that. It will be more easier. Int row is equal to, let me keep it like this only. Let's try that. Mm, great. Okay, we are going to try this to, mm, if this is equal to 0, right? So int r is equal to uh, int r is equal to nothing but I, and comma c is equal to j, right? Now change for int I, sorry, int x is equal to 0 to x is smaller than, mm, x is smaller than I, okay, uh, x is smaller than r. I have to iterate through all the elements in the array, right? So x is smaller than r, right? X plus plus, mm, row x plus plus, okay. Now matrix of, uh, I have to change the row x and keep the column as same, okay, is equal to 0, and again check if this is already 0. If it is already equal to 0, continue. Same goes for this. Int y is equal to 0, y is smaller than column y plus plus. If matrix of uh, row and y, if it is equal to 0, continue. Hello. Okay. Matrix of r y equal to 0, continue. Okay, you watch the video of Striver. Yeah, he may have done that. I haven't watched his video. I will watch later on. Let's see if it is working fine or not. Yeah. So I think this should work. Um, I should not get any compilation error. Just I'm thinking of that. Wrong answer, right? 100 000 000. Okay. Mm, what I'm trying to do, as soon as I mm, got a 0, uh, uh, mm, okay, this is not working because I'm again iterating through all the elements, right? Okay, for solving at an O of 1, let's think of another approach of mm, I can do something like I'll use the first row and first column as our marker and traverse through all the elements. Okay. Mm, and the row is equal to matrix dot size, comma, column is equal to matrix of 0 dot size. Okay. Now what? Take two boolean expressions and for first row is equal to false, comma, second row is equal to false. Sorry, not second row, first column. First column is equal to false. Now, I'll first of all check if there is any like zeros in the first row and first column or not. For int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than row I plus plus. If uh, matrix of I and column column if it is equal to 0, mm, first row, right? First row plus plus and first row is equal to true, and for int j is equal to 0 and j I is equal to 0, I is smaller than column I plus plus. If uh, ma- matrix of uh, row comma I, if it is equal to 0, first column is equal to 2. So okay, why it is even necessary? Because like marking the first element of that row to 0, I'll just use in the second pass that how many uh, elements have been zeroed out. Okay, I'll use that. Let me explain you. Okay, for int I is equal to 1, I is smaller than row I plus plus, and same with the column part
खुद को हमारे जाल में फंसा हुआ शेर समझ रहा है, हमें पता है।
okay, j is equal to 1 to j is smaller than column j plus plus. Okay, what I will do now, if I'll get if matrix of I uh, and j is equal to 0, if I got this, just write matrix of I and 0 is equal to 0. Same with matrix of 0 comma j is equal to 0. I'm doing this because I can get the reference of uh, this in the next step. Now I'll set the matrix cells to 0 based on the markers. Okay, for int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than row I plus plus, for int j is equal to 0, sorry 1, j is smaller than call j plus plus, use j here. Okay, instead of I is equal to 1, write I is equal to 1, 0, I write is equal to 1. Okay. Mm, okay, now check if matrix of I and 0 equal to 0, or matrix of 0 and j, if it is equal to 0, write matrix of I and j equal to 0. Okay, now why I have used this, like uh, the first row and first column, because I wanted to like put all the elements of first row as 0 and first column as 0. If first column is 0, write all the elements of first column as 0. Okay, for int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than uh, the value of row I plus plus. Now matrix of I and 0 equal to 0. Same goes for second column, for and I is equal to 0, I then column I plus plus, matrix of 0 and j is equal to 0. Great, we don't have to return anything. Let me just try run this code. Are you understanding what I am trying to tell? I'm a beginner and I started to code 20 days before, and I'm doing array medium, but I'm totally exhausted. Sometimes I'm not able to think about sometime even the fruitful solution. Any suggestions? Okay, whatever I'm trying to tell you, are you understanding or not? First of all, just tell me that. Whatever I'm trying to tell you, are you understanding those things or not? Yeah. Okay. See, first thing, let me just complete this, then I'll explain you. See, first of all, I use this so that I can use it at the last. Okay? You don't have to think about why I use this. I don't know how Stiver did, but first of all, you need to do this. Now, after this, what you have to do, I'll I have updated this thing so that I can take the reference of the first row. See, if the matrix of I and j is equal to 0, I'll update the first row and first column. I'm just updating the first row and first column to 0. I'm not updating anything else because I want to take the help of this first row and first column to update whole array. Okay, that's why I'm doing this. This also, see, if any of the element, if I'm getting the element here is 0, I'll update this as 0, I'll update this as 0, so that after that, so that when I'll come back, I'll update all the elements of this row and this column to 0. Are you understanding what I'm trying to tell? Let me explain more detail. Let me take this example. Okay, so suppose the 0 would have been at the place of 5. So what I would have done, I would have just uh, like make this element as 0 and this element as 0. Okay, in this iteration. After that, when I'll come back to this, I'll check if is any of the elements of this row and this column is 0 or not. If it is, I'll explain, I'll convert all the elements of this row to 0. I'll convert all the elements of this column to 0. So that's it. And at the end, if any of the elements of column or row is initially 0, I'll update it to 0 and I'll just return it. So if I'll just submit, I think there may be some compilation errors. Yeah, I knew it. Second column. Mm, First column, first row, first column, right? Where was the error? Yeah, here was there. I knew my code without any compilation errors. First column. Uh, Declared identity. Acha, okay, okay. This is going to be I, right? Okay, great. I think now it is going to be fine. Let me just see if this is working or not. Yeah, it is working fine. So no issues with that. And see, if you are a beginner in DSA, you just have to be consistent. You don't have to think about results. Solve questions, go to HackerRank, do basics. No, don't go to HackerRank now if you have started doing LeetCode. Go to Geeks for Geeks, start coding in Code Forces, start coding in CSCS, take problems from there, and don't leave DSA because DSA is very important. All the big companies only ask DSA. So totally stick on solving DSAs. And if you're not understanding any problem, don't get stuck in that problem. Just keep it aside, write it down, and try to solve it after a few days, after 1 month or 1 week. But don't get stuck in solving only that problem. First of all, try to learn every single basics of every single data structure, like linked list, how linked list work, how queue works, how priority queue works, how what is trees, how trees iteration works, what is graph, what are the algorithms of graph. Learn every single thing. Don't solve much problems on that. After learning those things, you will be familiar with all the algorithms and all the basic things of every single data structure. After that, start leveling up in those single data structures, like start with arrays, then go to strings, then go to a sliding window, then go to binary search. Don't get stuck in solving only array for 3 months, 6 months, because I've seen people doing this mistake of solving a single data structures for like very like for 4 to 5 months, every like solving only a single data structures. If they are stuck in sliding window, they are only solving sliding window problem for like 15 to 20 days. I've given interview of Google 2 times, and twice I have been asked binary search, and for in one of the interview I have been asked binary search with graph. So my only suggestion to you would be, don't get stuck. Just try to first of all learn about every single algorithm, and after every single data structure, after you are familiar with every single data structure, try to just uh, solve problems topic wise and don't get stuck. So that's it. If you want any more suggestion from me, I'm open to give you suggestions. If not, thank you so much for watching. Am I clear, Keshav? Okay, great. Thank you so much for watching.